Liveline on RTE Radio 1, sponsored by Harry Curry. Refresh your home with the latest colours and designs in curtains and bedding, in store or at harrycurry.com.
Liveline with Kieran Cuddihy.
Yes, the WhatsApp number is 087 484 8888 if you want to get in touch by text on WhatsApp, or you can send us a voice note. And actually on that front, Naeem Iqbal is with us now. And Naeem, I know you made a video that people listening to this show might have seen because you posted it up online, and it's got a lot of attention after an attack on your friend Abdur during the early hours of Friday night into Saturday morning. We actually have a voice note from Abdur. Take a listen.
Hi. I finished my work and closed takeaway on Saturday early morning around 3 a.m. and was walking to the car parking to go home. I had a good day, had no problem with any customer, but I still don't know why we were attacked. I still don't know why they wanted to kill me. I'm taking medicine and resting. Hope I will recover soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you to Abdur for sending us a voice note. It can't have been easy, as he said. He's on medication now and he's recovering from that attack. Naeem, can you talk us through what you understand happened to Abdur?
Hi, Kieran. Yeah, Abdul and his colleague, they closed the shop on early Saturday morning. They were heading from Main Street to the car parking. And when he was near the car, trying to open the car, he was attacked by a male and two females. And yeah, then they had a struggle between each other, and Abdul's friend Anwar came to separate them, but then he was also attacked by another group. So yeah, so they were bruised quite badly, and Abdul has quite a lot of injuries on his body. He's on medication now. Hopefully he will recover soon. But it's actually quite shocking. The way for no reason, they were attacked. He still, as you can hear from his message, that he still don't know why they were attacked.
And were there any weapons or implements used? Were they just hit with kind of fists and kicked, or anything else?
To our understanding, I don't think so. There were any weapons. Abdul think that one of the attacker had any metal, could be a screwdriver or anything metal, and because that was when he got hit on his head, that's how he felt that, but no other weapon, no.
And this was in Portlaoise at the weekend, Friday night into Saturday morning, as Abdur said when he was closing up. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah, in Portlaoise town, yes, just near the main street. In the car parking. And
why, Naeem, did you decide to make a video talking about this and post it up online?
Kieran, look, I am in this country from 2015, and my experience with the communities, locals, has been absolutely tremendous, very good, very welcoming, never had any feeling that we were just new in this country. But I can see clearly from the recent past, particularly when I was campaigning for my local election, I could see a very different change in the attitude. Not majority, but of course, if I compare my 2019 with 2024 campaign, I could see a difference. In 2019, I did not have a single incident where I felt that I was not welcome or anybody was harsh to me or my poster was defaced. But in 2024, in election campaign, it was reported in the media that my poster was defaced. If you look at my timeline on social media, you could see a huge difference how the people were responding to my post. In 2019, it was all warm and pleasant. But in 2024, we were listening, go home, this is not your country, and, you're taking our jobs and so on and so forth. So I could definitely see a changing trend, a changing atmosphere here. And particularly if you look into the last, I would say 6 months, there are repeated incidents, and I have no doubt in saying that they are racial motivated incidents. There's so many examples in Dublin. There are so many examples in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And now this happened in Portlaoise. It's my hometown. I decided that's it. I mean, for me, enough is enough. I have to go out, speak, raise this issue. I cannot sit in my room and just let the things happen the way they are happening. And that's why I decided to seek support from the general community, make them aware what is happening, and I can clearly see the amount of response I got from the general community in Laois. It was so hot and warming that it really made me feel that I'm in the old Portlaoise when I was new in the Portlaoise, where everybody was welcoming. It's a very good response. Now, I think what I understand, it's not just single incident here and there. It's a wave of racism against the migrant, and there is a anti-migrant campaign is actually, I think, is being run. Particularly, you can see on social medias. You can see so many comments, and almost everybody's telling us, go home, this is not your country, you're taking our jobs, you're taking waiting list of GP is increased because of the migrants, they can't get the houses, and so on.
Yeah.
So we need to educate them. We need to connect with the general population. We need to tell them what are the facts. We need to, I know that the majority of the Irish population is peace-loving. They're welcoming the newcomers into the country. We just have to connect with them, and we need to build up a counter narrative to defeat this false narrative, which is actually poisoning the whole society. And for the reason, we have decided, I particularly was engaged in last 2-3 days with different communities, their active members, and we've decided to form an anti-racism movement Ireland.
Okay.
And that will have representative from all counties, and they will function in their own counties. And it's very clear agenda. We are peaceful. We will always remain peaceful. We promote peace, unity, and the strength of the country.
Yeah.
We will educate the public. We will connect with them. We will share the facts that how we are contributing to the Irish society, Irish economy, and we will be connecting to the schools, and of course we'll be using the media and social media to counter narrative this anti-immigrant agenda which is being forcefully pushed in.
And when you describe it as a wave of racism, then Naeem, when did you first notice it? So you say there was a stark difference between 2019 when you ran and in 2024. But so at some point in between those 2 years, this started. When did you first notice it?
Kieran, I noticed. I was, I'm engaged with public. Because of my politics and the social connection, I do meet a lot of people, different community members, different groups, civil society. So my first experience where I was getting a feeling of different attitude, or that was from the January-February 2024. That is where I start feeling, because perhaps that is a time when I started engage into the campaign, when I was going out for the local election, and that was, before that it was, we were meeting the small groups or individuals, so I didn't notice that much. But February, March 24, when I was out going for campaigning of my election, that's where I actually felt that, the atmosphere has changed. And then you can clearly see, in the media there has been so many incidents of different, taxi drivers and health workers and IT professionals or school children and you name it. They're not like children and elders. Everybody is attacked in different part of Ireland, and so and I think we didn't do enough. Civil society did not do enough when the first incident happened, second happened, third happened. We should have come together. We should have raised our voice, but it didn't happen. And unfortunately, it has grown so much that if you just look into the last week only and look at the media reporting, you could see that there are 3-4 incidents. Which are scary.
There are, and we better be careful about incidences where people maybe have been charged or about to be specifically. Yeah. But as you say, listen, there's lots of examples of the increase of all of this over the last while. And Naeem, I know this is a tough question, right? But do you think that the actual levels of racism have grown in the country, or is it that people maybe were too ashamed to say these things a few years ago, that they've actually just been emboldened now? That maybe there was people there who always looked at you and thought, you don't belong here, but they didn't have the courage to say it until now, if courage is the right word.
I would say, look, there are, of course, there is a sense of feeling as well. When you meet a person, you can really feel that how that person may have been feeling for you, So, to be honest with you, I lived in different parts of the world in my last 25 years. And I always say that this is the country I want to live for the rest of my life. It's so much, and especially Malaysia, so wonderful, so wonderful people, loving people. And I always used to give example that people just ask me, would you go back to that other country where you got your education? I wouldn't mention the names here. So I said, no way. This is a beautiful country. This is where I want to live. And then county, and then my town, Portlaoise, where I know everybody. Everybody know me. We can say hello to each other. We share feelings with each other. We joys with each other, sorrow with each other. So it's very different. I never felt like this, that people were. Of course, I can't say that there were not few individuals who may have those feelings, but as a whole, as a society, as a community, no, I never felt that. But I can clearly see there is a change, and I can clearly see that, to be honest with you, when I look into the incidents, without going into the details, and I look into the people who are involved, I understand that they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. It's just a propaganda, and we didn't do enough to counter that. We didn't communicate. We didn't connect with the people. And that has spread it into society. And
then how Naeem, do you then expect or hope to connect with those people? It'd be very easy for you to organise meetings and I say this with all due respect, but to have a room full of people who all agree with each other in the first place, kind of patting each other on the back, saying, God, isn't this terrible? Let's all do something about it. The real challenge is reaching out to people maybe who do think, you know what, the country is full and we don't have enough places and maybe these people should go back. How do you reach out to them and, as you say, change the narrative?
You see, there are a majority of people, I believe that they are just confused with the whole situation. Of course, and one thing I never forget, and I do not deny that, yes, there are challenges of the housing. There are challenging for the public to get their children into the school. There are challenges when people want to join to register with the GP. They have to wait for so many months or even years, and the hospitals and so on. So no one can deny that, and that is perhaps that is a main reason where people are just, when they are not getting the facilities or the benefits what they want, they are holding someone else responsible for that. And they need to understand that, for example, if I am a professional, right? I can never get a social house because my income threshold will always be higher. I will never be able to get a social house. I do not get GP card. I do not get medical card. Okay, I do not get any benefit. I don't get school uniform benefit, and so on. So we are the contributor to the society. People need to recognize that. People need to understand that. So we can only do our best. We can connect with them. We need to talk to them. We can share our information with that. Not everybody out there who have different view is our enemy. People have different views. So what we need to do is we need to talk to them. We need to build up a dialogue. And there are civil society groups. There are organizations who are involved in many things. So we need to actively engage. That's all we can do.
This is possibly a dispiriting point to make, but the Liveline WhatsApp number is absolutely overrun with racist comments right now. There's no other way to describe it. Absolutely overrun, and and you actually touched on it, Naeem. I mean, some of the stuff it's kind of, I mean, it's almost laughable if it wasn't so serious. It's like Schrodinger's immigrant. It's like they're coming here for the handouts and the dole, and they're also coming here to take our jobs. It's either one or the other. But I know you mentioned running twice, Naeem, for in general election and run for local election rather in 2019, 2024, and it's for Fianna Fáil. And there's that there have been changes to migration policy as well under the current government, and sometimes there's been an accusation made that they're letting the tail wag the dog. You know what I mean? That they're hardening their stance. And slightly picking on migrants themselves. Now, listen, I'm sure Fianna Fáilers would disagree with that, and chief amongst them, Jim O'Callaghan, who's the Minister for Justice and has responsibility for this area. But what's your own view?
You see, it's a democratic country, and people have right to raise their voice. And when the people are raising their voice, it's the government responsibility to assess and reassess the policies and the laws. If there is a room of improvement, the improvement must be done. There's no harm in that. Immigration policy or the laws, and do they need improvement? Yes, of course I do. I personally think so too, because there's a long delay. There's so many people coming in here applying for. First of all, we need to distinguish between two types of immigrants. One are the economic immigrants who are coming on and for the professional backgrounds. Another one are coming under the international obligations. I mean, under the asylum or other categories.
Yeah.
Now this is the area where there is definitely an improvement, because people are staying there in the centres for so long, and the applications are running for years. Yeah. So I think that improvement is needed. So I don't think so. There's an issue in improving the laws. However, if the laws are changed to again, otherwise, if you look into the Irish immigration policy, it is not open policy. I mean, all those workers who are coming here, I'm talking about, who are coming on the work permits, it is actually based on the industry requirement, and that industry requirement is fed into the Department of Enterprise by the different different sectors of the economy.
It's a point always worth making, that it's just a statement of fact, whatever people's views on migration, that most of the people who come to this country are either Irish citizens returning, they're from the UK, they're from the European Union, or they've got work permits. Way, way, way down the bottom of that list are people who come and claim asylum, despite the fact they get all the attention. But listen, you just said it yourself, this is a democratic country, and we've seen manifestation of that in Dublin Castle a little bit earlier today with Catherine Connolly's inauguration. And Kevin is on the line. Kevin is from County Laois as well, and I understand, Kevin, you know Naeem, and you think that maybe the election of a new president as well is an opportunity to confront this wave of racism, as Naeem described it. Is that right?
Yeah, thanks, Kieran, and hello there, Naeem. Yeah, look at I watched the inauguration there, and in the prayers from the various backgrounds at the beginning, most spoke of kindness and reaching out and hospitality and welcome. And gosh, that's what we're all about. And I think and Naeem, it's a horrendous situation that he's been describing there, and it's very difficult for anybody, and I find it very difficult to be neutral in this situation of injustice, call it what you like, and I'm thinking of Desmond Tutu, and he says, like, to remain silent, we're effectively taking the side of all these other voices out there, because this is not the Ireland that I know and love, and that Naeem has come to know and love and to celebrate. And I've been, abroad in other countries for a number of years, and I've experienced that welcome, which is really precious, and it often scares the daylights out of me that if Ireland does not keep up that level of welcome, then we've lost who we are as Irish people. I was in a hospital there during the week recently, and I was looking at all those consultants that were up there, and so many would have been from, let's say, Asia. And they are here as a result of a call put out by the Irish government for people like that to come here, because we didn't have those services. And now they are here, and I think we need to honour and to celebrate that. And just one idea I have, and I'd love maybe the new president, and that's for another conversation another day. But, St. Bridget's Day is a new, wonderful new day we've got.
Yeah.
I would love to see if we could in some way use that day to celebrate the new Irish here among us, and really to make it a big occasion for us to get it. Because unless we have this conversation, the other narrative will take over.
Yeah. Well, listen, as you say, it's a worthy suggestion and suitable for a conversation for another day. Kevin, thanks a million for joining us. Naeem, thank you as well, and thanks to Abdur who sent in that voice note. And Abdur, we wish you well with your recovery from that attack. Lots more to come on Liveline today. 515